Hello again to RollQuests, episode 2.
Woohoo!
Oh, yeah, we made a second one. We're idiots.
Yeah, we made it to episode 2. Okay, a quick recap then for where we left off.
Is it time to wake up again?
It is time to wake up again, yes.
It is.
Are you all there?
I don't think some of us are all here, no.
Hello?
Really not.
Oh,
Okay, a quick recap from last session. We ended with everybody in the tavern of the Broken Nail just after some thug come in and punched the barmaid. You all dove in, and without getting into gruesome details, he is no more. You are all now sat around a table with as much free food and drink as you could possibly want that the barman is bringing you. And you're staying here for the night until the following morning at early dawn, where he is going to prepare a wagon for you to go to Tugton, where he wants you to not only pick up 4 barrels of Bogmog ale for him, but also gives you an opportunity for you to dump off this corpse you have. So, it is the evening. You have a moment or two to relax as you all realize that at the moment some of you are speaking Elven, some of you are speaking human. It's a whole mishmash of languages going on, and you're all staring at each other across the table.
this
Over to
wasn't
you
the
guys.
type of treasure I signed up for.
Did you sign up for?
Treasure.
Languages. Now we have an elven chat. What did you say your name? What did you say your name was?
Traith, all about.
Tra-
Thank you.
Is Traith. I speak a lot of languages. What about you? What language do we have a common tongue amongst us?
Elven?
Amongst us, I think you'll find some of these.
What
does he say? Teach them to speak Elven?
How long do you have?
Thousands of years?
They don't. So,
Anybody speak human with a Xavian dialect?
no.
Xavier.
Moving on.
Empire human?
Yes, I speak Empire.
Wow.
That's what I'm currently speaking.
I recognize that one, but you're all speaking it with a stupid set of words.
Yes.
Stupid set of words.
And what
Yeah.
about you?
Your intonation is all wrong, and the words you're speaking aren't correct.
Are we all speaking Imperial?
I'm speaking Imperial, you're speaking some rough dialect or something.
If you all speak human, there's a whole base language of human that you can all use and understand each other.
Okay.
What you'll get is if 2 of you decide that you want to speak Empire human in
Mhm.
front of the others that are just speaking various other forms of human, you'll end up switching into local colloquialisms that will be alien to the others that can't speak Empire human, and as such, you're not quite speaking another language. It's just most of the sentence they won't quite understand. But you don't
Empire
have
rhyming
to.
tongue.
You don't have to use those colloquialisms. You can just switch to a base human, not quite Pigeon English kind of human, but it will be. You'll be missing some of the local ways you describe things. You'll just be picking the most common type of way of describing something.
I speak human.
Um,
I know what you're all saying, but
I speak, well, we all speak a common tongue to some description, even if it is with accent or words that others don't understand. So, seeing as we've all fought and drawn blood, we may as well try and introduce ourselves. So we don't call each other man with crossbow, man with two-handed sword, pointy-eared git, man with stick, and lady without any weapons. Doesn't roll off the tongue, does it?
But it certainly describes everyone.
Yes, it does.
Allow me then to make formal introduction. This gentleman here in the travel-worn clothes is Emerus. He has introduced himself to me. I am honored to make his acquaintance. I introduce him to the rest of you as a group.
Nah. But
Sounded like it was in Elvish.
no, that was him just being posh.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Emrys, well met.
Thank you. I think a star shines on the hour of our meeting.
Emrys, might I ask you a bit of a question?
A bit of a question.
How
Question I allow you.
Just how old are you?
It's a bit of a subjective thing, age.
Especially from somebody who hasn't given his name.
Is that awake time or sleep time?
Oh, good grief.
The only reason I ask is, and I mean no offense when I say this, but I've not seen an old man, no offense again, shatter someone's elbow with a stick before. So
I have.
Really?
Have? Really?
Yes.
You get two types of people in the world: the old people who are good at what they do, and the young people who think they're good at what they do.
And you are obviously the latter because I look at the hole in the wall. I don't think you're very good with that crossbow.
This isn't my forte. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay, so who are you? What are you? What is your name?
Well, I am, as you can see me. I'm a human, right?
Yes. Yes,
My
you are.
name is Riv.
Well met, Viv. I am Shishay, but my mother only calls me that, so just call me Ash.
Ashashishe.
You're murdering my language there, but
It's at this point you notice that Ashashishe
just
is
Ash.
is wearing the strangest kind of armor that you've ever seen. It's made up of very almost like black iridescent plates that don't seem to have a natural surface to them. It's like there's a strange depth to each of these plates where you can't quite work out how thick this plate is. And he is covered in an armor that even when you look at it, there seems to be jointing in the armor whereby some of the armor pieces can move. Back over to you, Ash.
It's got quite a high collar. It's got quite a high collar. You can see like plating on the elbow, on the arms.
Are there any little pieces near the edges that perhaps one could perhaps put in the pocket? Just a little to look at for later?
You don't like your fingers then, do you? I do. If you touch them, they feel like a stiff leather.
I'm definitely having a look at them, Ash. I'm definitely no.
Because Lumi's poking me at the moment.
Yeah, Lumi just poked.
I've rummaged in various voluminous parts of this robe and produced a magnifying glass, and I'm definitely having a good look. No, do carry on, sir. I'm very interested.
Whilst everybody is chatting and so on, I want to have a look around this group of people with power perception, if that's possible. Please.
I then turn to the last individual and say,
Okay.
Hang on, GM's about to say something.
Yeah. So first then, Lumi, yes, you reach out and you touch his armor. It is completely solid. When your finger touches it, it doesn't even give a reflection of your finger back. Like it looks like it should give you some kind of like image as you come towards it. The iridescence should reflect your finger slightly as you get close, but it doesn't. And you just touch it. It feels slightly cold, as though it's metal. But when you touch it, you realize it's not. It almost feels like a leathery hide, but there's a coldness to it. It's very strange. And to answer you, Trace, your power perception roll, if that's what you want to do while you're talking to people.
85.
85. The only thing you're going to get on an 85 is very overt senses of power. Something that has quite a strong, powerful presence to it. Looking at Emrys, his staff clearly has some kind of magical property to it. It's not hidden at all. It's quite a strong power. Riv seems to either not be wearing anything extremely powerful or he's kept it well hidden. Ash, it's hard to tell whether or not that armor he is wearing is actually magical or not. There's a strange aura to about it. You've never felt that kind of power presence before, so you're not really sure what it is that you're looking at. The sheer fact it's got this strange iridescent quality to it tells you that it's not normal. And looking at Lumi, yet again, you're not sure if the whole of her is a magical property or not. There's something odd and off about Lumi, whereby from a power perception point of view, especially an 85, you've got a funny feeling, you just don't know what it is. Okay, carry on.
Okay, thank you.
And I look over to the other obvious fighter of the group. Even though she has no weapons, she made an attack. And you are?
Yes, I am. I'm Lumi.
As I said, foolhardy of you to attack somebody with a weapon without one yourself.
Could be. It couldn't be.
You don't appear to carry any weapons, yet you have the standing of a fighter.
I don't think you really need weapons. I mean, I don't, certainly.
I, on the other hand, find it quite handy.
Yes.
Yep.
In that situation.
There was no point to fighting that defensively. That person needed to be put down before he drew others in. They are scum.
I think, Lumi, there is more than meets the eye. Not everybody needs big stick.
No, but it certainly helps.
Indeed.
I certainly agree with that. And that is particularly my penchant. I do like a big stick.
Now, I'd prefer to get out of here as soon as possible. I think this Red Eyes chap might be a bit annoyed at me. I need to get as far and as fast and as far away from here as I possibly can.
And I think you've had enough of that ale.
Ash.
Just ash. Just ash, honestly.
Okay, Ash. I mean, we all kind of partook in the killing of that dude.
Yes.
To a greater or lesser extent. Why you specifically, though?
Have you just escaped from the slave pens?
No.
Is that where you were from?
As I said, let us get out of here as soon as we possibly can, please.
Well, we are going at dawn.
Excellent.
I do believe we're all in agreement that
Now,
to keep anything from happening to this farmer and his fair daughter.
I'm telling you this because I can't do this on my own.
No, we will. Well, I'm happily to.
I think we're all in a position at the moment where we're kind of.
And there's a little coin in it.
Coins.
Did the guy who lost his leg and broke his elbow, did he actually have any coin upon him?
He lost his coin as well, yes. Put it on the bar. There was a pouch, and I'll rummage it over. It's still there. Because I think he... Though I think I would have liked to return the money to those he has obviously previously been, or whoever established.
That would bring attention to it. Take the money and run.
I think at best we do not leave it with the barman or what. We'd best take it with us.
Indeed. Let us not tarry. Let them think that he has run away with the money.
Do people do that a lot?
What, run away or take money?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
both. Yes. Especially scum.
Do you get out much, Traith?
Did.
At the scum comment, Riv will just sit there and start.
Not to town very often.
I did.
Well, you're out now.
Yes.
How are people's thoughts on leaving here? Did you come to this town for a reason? Is there any reason to stay or anything?
Nope.
Good.
When you say out, Traith, have you been let out?
What? No. I'm not a prisoner.
Well, that makes...
You look kind of familiar.
All elves look the same.
Ooh.
Just like racist slur to all elves in one go. There you go.
I just love the from
For any
the-
elves listening to this, I do apologize in advance.
I'd like to point out that that is not the feelings of this person, just the character.
And it's
Same.
You're not wrong, Ash. We are just
you just keep digging.
than you.
Just keep digging, mate. You've gone in the black book. And I will, with that, take off my backpack. Rummage for a bit.
He's got a black book.
He's got a black book.
You just made the list, Ash.
You've just made the black book.
He's got another black book. He's got 2 black books.
Oh, well,
He's got
that's
two-
confusing
he's got
then,
2
isn't
brown
it?
ones.
Amazing. By the by,
3.
Gem,
I can count, by the way.
Clearly, Emrys, he's actually reaching into his bag, actually, really, Emrys is, and he's pulling out books. And you can see from a very small bag, there's an awful lot of books coming out of this bag, and he keeps pulling one out and then putting it back in. Oh, I think he's found the book he wanted.
Oh, right.
by the by, Gem, are people currently displaying coin purses on their persons?
No.
You want to do a quick general perception? Just give me a general perception roll, and based on the roll, I'll ask each person to roughly tell me the bulge of their purse.
Hey.
General perception, yeah?
General perception, please. A 68. Not great. Only on a 68, I will just say, does anybody here in the group have a coin purse actually showing?
No.
That would mean that you actually have coin.
So the answer is no
Are you
obvious
out of
coin
coin,
purse.
Ash?
That's fine. Just curious. No other reason.
Are you without coin, Ash?
I'll have to check the backpack that I have come with.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't notice your backpack. I apologize.
You got a rummage inside the pack?
Yes, because
Okay.
this is the one I picked up on the way out. Wasn't
This is the one that you grabbed on the way out along with
I've-
the armor, yeah.
I've shoved some stuff in it. You know, I've shoved some stuff in it, but other than that, I don't know what's in the pack.
Okay. In the pack are the following.
Are you putting it anywhere?
No, I can just describe it. The first thing you pull out is on a chain. There's a clear piece of crystal. The strange thing is about this crystal when you pull it out, it's not a gem. You can tell it's more of a crystalline structure. But the moment you touch it, it changes shape, which freaks you out for a moment. Because it actually morphs into kind of like a spiky version of itself. And the moment you let go of it, it goes back into a normal crystalline structure.
Okay.
The second thing you pull out is a book. This book, the touch of it feels wrong. The binding of this is very thick and strange kind of leather. As Emrys is staring at the book. It smells.
A hand sneaking towards it, even as he says.
It smells off in a big way. There's something very,
Somebody mentioned books.
very strange about this book. It's like, that's not right. If you get what I mean.
Okay. Keep going.
You do actually pull out a small pouch with a few what appear to be minor gems of some kind.
Were any one of those 3 the thing that what I was originally sort of like guarding?
Oh, sorry. There's I do apologize. There's also a very small. It is quite small vial. When you pull it out, you can see it's clearly made of silver. It has a stopper at the top. It's sealed. There's definitely a liquid of some form in this little vial. Okay.
So were any of those the thing I was originally?
Yeah, the thing that you knew about was the crystalline structure to a certain degree. You knew that the gentleman that wore it it was an important thing. It's strange that he's not wearing it now and it's in a bag. So either he took it off, or somebody's taken it off and put it in the bag.
So any other sundries in there, or is that just it in that bag?
That's it.
I don't appear to have any coin, no.
Don't recognize any of that, do I?
Obviously, there's one item there that you do recognize, yeah?
I opened the book and have a quick...
Oh, secrets.
You open the book. Oh, there's an odd smell. All of you kind of get this very odd smell. It's not a good smell either. It affects probably Trace the most. Almost makes you feel sick, Trace. And as you look down at the pages, Ash, your eyes struggle to focus on the writing and the imagery of the pages because they kind of seem to shift and move as you look at them.
That's not a good thing.
It's like, literally, it's a case of...
Yeah.
Okay.
And who was it who had the broken nail homemade liquor?
That would be Riv.
Riv. Wow. You're not even sure that you can drink that. I'm not quite sure what your constitution is without asking you, but believe me, that hurts.
It actually physically.
That is not a nice liquor. That's painful.
Excellent.
Nice.
Does that come in bottles? Because I could use it with some of my herbs.
Yeah, it cleared his head and his sinuses instantly.
That smells like rhino testicle ointment.
Like, what?
Thank you for putting the thing away, Ash.
I put the book back in the...
Ash, may I look upon that book? It is somewhat...
Could you wait until I wasn't in the same place, please, Emrys?
By all means, I shall...
Thank you. That,
No, not a problem.
yeah, that's not a nice thing. That really is not a nice thing.
I just scooped some stuff. I just scooped some stuff into the bag as I left.
It smells...
I pull up, I take the bunny rabbit bit off my belt and lay it out in front of everybody. Open it up. It's just got some herbs in it. That's the sum total of all I own.
That appears to be made of bunny rabbit, and not very well cured one at that.
I didn't have long.
I think you did very well in the time.
Let us get our heads down. Let us go relax as best we can. I think we have a journey on. Now, who is it who...
Before we carry this book any further, can I
Yes.
examine it?
If you like. I
Where-
don't recognize the book at all, do I? Do you?
Where did you get this from?
I don't see why I shouldn't tell you. I stole it when I was leaving the slave.
I'm,
Did you steal it from?
some
The
particular
slavers.
anyone in particular?
It was in their storeroom. I went in there, I got what I had to get, and I scooped some stuff into the bag and left. Fortunately, it looked like I scooped in random stuff, but I got what I needed. Why? Is there anything that you wanted to have a look at, seeing as he's examining my book?
Could you just put it on the bar there?
Yes, the far end of the bar, please.
Yes, by all means. And
I will go and sit over here.
over there.
That's what I was going to put it, actually. I wasn't going to put it in the bag because I'm over here. Was there anything that took your interest in this lot? I know that you're probably going to be interested in the gems, Riv, but you, Lumi, was there anything that you were interested in?
Yes.
Ooh, we're playing the 3 guesses game, are we?
Yeah.
Secret messages to the GM time. Okay, let me just have a quick check and check my secret message list.
You notice I definitely smell of oranges.
Yes.
Smell of
You don't smell of oranges now. You currently smell of book.
Hi, I'm over here now, far
Yes.
away from that horrible book.
Yes, I don't blame you.
You're a warrior, Ash? A fighter with sword.
I am a trained fighter for my clan, yes.
And Riv is a crossbowman.
He appears to be.
Very bad crossbowman.
Is there anything else you do?
I'm very good not being seen.
Ah, he's a really good bad crossbowman.
So you're a scout.
Sure, we'll go with that. That's much more noble than what I normally do.
I shall have to take
And Lumi, you are very interested in what you're doing at the moment, but you are a dancer?
That is not
No
dancers, muscle.
way.
They are fighters. Look at those knuckles. Those are broken knuckles from many a time hitting things. Those fingers are calloused. She is trained in some form of fighting.
Or dancing?
How many dancers do you know that use their knuckles?
Those who dance on their knuckles.
As I punch people, it is what I do.
Okay.
So a fighter then, yes.
A pugilist?
Wow.
Wrong word.
I'm surprised he even got that one pronounced.
Was that
That's
an elf word?
Nation's a bit strange, but
No, it's a proper imperial word. It's one of the proper words. Not slang you're using.
Who uses his fists in a fight?
Ah, I know what it means. I'm well versed in multiple languages.
Are you eating the book?
So, Emrys, did you say you want to look at this book with your staff? Okay.
His eyes would be
You
better.
use your staff to open this book. And exactly the same as previous, there is a horrible smell that comes from this book, especially when you open it. Even looking at the outside of it before you nudged it with your staff, you realize that the leather binding and the outer casing of this book is something very, very odd about it. And when you do open the pages and you look at the pages themselves, just like I explained earlier to Ash, the contents of the pages seem to shift and move and writhe slightly. There could be words, there could be pictures in there. You don't recognize any of either. But watching the motion of them move around makes you feel a little bit ill.
Can you tell what the binding's made of, Tony?
You'd have to close the book first, so you start not looking at the strange
I
twistings.
will close it, yes, and
Okay.
I've not put my hands on it either.
Without touching it, no. There's clearly some kind of potential leather or hide, but you really, without a very close examination, which could possibly involve touch, taste, and all the rest of it, to try and smell, to try and work out what kind of animal that is. You just from a visual, it's
I am
just
fond
some
of
kind
my
of
books,
strange
but I
hide.
tend to lick them. Though I know I have a problem with books. I know I do.
All right. My name is Traith, and it's been quite a long time since I read my last book. Lick.
Book.
Is this how you read books?
It is. On the inside, is lick 'em.
Well, that's new.
Lick 'em.
I personally would rather use my eyes, but if we're reading books now by licking them, that certainly is new.
Is how we do it these days.
Ah, okay.
I don't advise licking this book, gentlemen. and ladies.
Could you possibly show me how you learn from a book by licking it at some point, Lumi? Is it more efficient than reading?
Oh, you should try it sometime.
I will, but with proper supervision. I'd probably need to start like you would train a young child to lick books.
I would much prefer to use a book how it is meant to be used.
What? Adjusting your chair height.
No, by reading it page by page.
See, now that's how I understand books.
That's
But
how I read books, yes.
I might be a barbarian, but I'm not uneducated.
I didn't say that. I couldn't possibly comment.
but you think all elves look the same?
I couldn't say that.
I wasn't talking. I was talking to the barbarian.
Well,
He didn't say that.
I haven't had practice in seeing many of you to tell you apart.
Oh, it's okay. I am a wood elf.
Yes, I know.
Green.
What?
I don't remember. Keeps comes and goes. Whatever. Where were we? Oh, where did this
Okay.
Where did this
So-
come from?
Lumi,
Yes.
What is it that you're interested in?
Can I please see that crystal that you have?
I have sent to protect this, or at least I was with the person that was protecting it.
Who
So
was protecting it?
an important person from my clan, the caravan I was with.
Can I see the crystal?
I will carry. I will make. I watch you. I will hand you the chain and
Struggling with that, weren't you?
watch you very carefully.
I will let you.
Indeed, it was a bit like that. No, actually, it was a lot like that. Actually,
Okay, and I
Okay.
will.
Shiny, give away the shiny.
oh no, it's not that.
Lumi, it changes shape as you probably expect it to into various forms of. They are spikes, but they're not sharp. They're just like protrusions that come out from it when you touch it.
Okay, I hand it back, and I take my necklace out.
Okay, with a blue
Long
crystal on the
chain.
end, and you
Yeah.
touch your blue crystal, and that changes shape into very similar, not identical, protrusions also.
Were you sent to meet someone?
How strange.
I was sent to meet someone.
Ah,
What happened to that person?
that person might have been. It's the person from my clan.
Yeah.
He is a great warrior of my clan. We were sent to a great distance from our traveling lands. I was just part of the wagon train itself. I'm an outsider in my clan. I am not, as you can probably tell. As you can probably tell, I am not normal for my clan. I am from outside, but I speak languages. I'm very observant. No, so they sent me along. We were ambushed. I haven't
Not
seen.
that observant,
Oh no, I'm very observant.
but you were
We were
ambushed.
Yes, we were.
So Icastiel is dead? Or
I haven't seen him. I would assume so. He did a great deal of damage to them before we were all put down. I wasn't killed. I have seen very few of my fellow Caravaneers or any of my tribe. I've been there for some time, and I plotted their routes, and I eventually found a chance to escape. I have a favor to ask of you, then, Bree, if you do not mind. Sorry, Lumi, if you do not mind.
okay.
If I don't survive, could you make sure this, and I tap the armor, gets back to my tribe? This is important to my tribe. This needs to get back.
Okay.
I
Yeah. I will do that for you.
thank you. And I will do my best for you. I am a quite
But-
well-trained fighter,
Thank
but
you.
not as good as my clansmen.
I hate to butt in, but do crystals normally do that? As
They
in
didn't used to.
changing and doing all that weird stuff.
Special crystals.
I'll actually put the crystal on and then dump it down the.
Are they
Yeah. Yeah.
ensorcelled?
Probably.
I mean, do you want to do another power perception on a tree?
Yeah, we'll
Now
give
it's
another
out
go.
and obvious. Please do.
94.
Okay. On a 94, it doesn't take an effort. Anybody with any kind of power perception in the group realizes that there is something magical about these crystals now that you can see them in plain sight. A lot of the magic and enchantment of the world was lost during the ending, and many items from before the ending just ceased to function. Whatever connection they had to the arcane world was severed at that point when the various planes merged. So you don't quite know how old these are, but you can tell just by looking at it that the magic that's within the enchantments that are within them is old, very old and it's very prominent.
They are your personal objects. Would I be impolite in asking if I could possibly handle them? I don't know quite what the social thing is. Can I touch your crystal thing?
You can touch my crystal thing.
Thank you.
What's the crystal?
So you
They're
got
called
both
star crystals.
the star crystals. Well, thank you.
You touch both of them?
Old?
You're touching both of them, yeah?
He's got both of them.
And what's the question, sorry, Traith?
Old, young, old.
I will, on a 94, allow you to roll again at plus 20 to try and see if you can discern more. This is not attunement mind, so you can't actually tell anything about the item itself. You're just trying to get a feel for the power, and it's 116. Yeah, you're not sure of the type of power. It's not what you expect it to be. You expect it to be some kind of obvious locked-in enchantment or something within it. That doesn't seem to be the case. You can't feel as if there is something waiting to trigger as you're touching it. But the power is really, really old, pre-ending. But the level of powering it seems to be quite extreme. So much so that you wouldn't have thought it's possible for something this small to have quite that level of power now that you're touching it. You're not an artificer yourself, but you wouldn't have expected an artificer to be able to put so much power into such a simple object.
Would this be equal or greater than what I'd expect to feel in a ley line or a grove?
You haven't got a lot of experience at playing with groves and ley lines. It's different. A grove and a ley line has a constant feed of energy that's constantly refreshing itself. Is where this is. It's a solid. Without having a grove or a ley line nearby to try and start playing about and assessing the two, you couldn't tell whether one was more powerful than the other.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. And I release them back to their respective owners. They're old.
Sorry, did I just roll that?
Before the thing that happened. Way before that. And they are full of energy to a bigger degree than they should be for their size.
So who was that actually? Sorry to interrupt. Who was that? Who originally had that? Was that Koig or was that Iskatel or whatever his name is?
So what you had, I mean, obviously, do you want me to disclose the event people to a certain degree? As in, is it exactly the right people? You're not trying to disguise things, no?
I have no need to.
Okay, so Koig, who was the tribal warrior, who was the very powerful warrior person that did lots of fighting, was guarding the other person who was a non-tribal member.
Yep,
that the tribe were protecting to bring here, and that other person was carrying this. And the end of the encounter that you're remembering, all you can remember before you passed out, was a very large explosion.
Right, thank you.
You remember where that was? Maybe we should go and check it out.
It was some distance from here. As I say, we didn't even get to the meeting.
After a week in Tugton, I suspect we will be cooling our heels, and a journey of a great distance will suddenly feel much more appealing to us.
It will be, as long as it is away from here. Although saying that's coming back here and slaying all these people to see if any of my brethren are still here, but I haven't seen any of them, so...
How far have you travelled, Ash, since you escaped?
Since I escaped, 250 yards.
That is some distance.
Just over by there.
I think we were under the perhaps the illusion that you had travelled maybe a few more miles than that.
To get here, yes.
Why you need to leave?
I have literally escaped from just over there about a candle mark ago.
Okay.
See.
Next time, can you make sure everybody hears that?
What, there's the barman who we are complicit in murdering somebody.
I mean, I don't know whether it's just me, but I completely missed the fact that you'd actually escaped from over the road, effectively.
I'm pretty sure I did say that, but not to worry.
And I can point out where he actually
Yes.
escaped from and where you are.
I have no idea where anywhere is in Baletown. I wandered into the inn because it had
Bring up-
smoke and food.
Bring up Baletown because
I
sure where the
will
bar is
bring
and
up
where everything else.
Baletown.
If somebody had been unfortunate enough to be cooking dinner, I'd probably be in their house right now, and none of this would have happened.
Right. See those two red buildings near the docks? Red roofed buildings. Yeah.
The pings, yeah.
That's where I've come from.
And you are currently here.
Oh, about 100 yards then.
There's a
have we
small
closed
opening
heaven?
through a
Well-
wall here that allows you to pass from the dock district area into what would be classed as just the general village outside.
Okay.
Just a quick question: have we closed both doors?
The inn itself is attached to the stable area, which has got larger doors into it. He is closed. The stable's closed anyway. He wouldn't allow patrons to come in through the stables. But the actual doors into the inn part, yes, they're closed.
Fine.
And it's also getting quite late at night, so if you're going to want to have any sleep at all
Let's get
before
some
you set
sleep.
off,
I'll
Before
also
we-
some of the food here. I'll also wrap and pack in my bag because I don't give a shit. You might give us something in the morning, but I'm still nicking food now.
that's absolutely fine. Whatever's left over, you're welcome to pack up.
Do you want me to put this book in my bag?
No, I put it in my bag.
I will
I quickly say,
wrap in a piece of cloth,
Fair enough.
tie it, and put a bit of string around it and tie it
Is it a
back to you.
just in case until? I mean, they must have stolen it just in case it is part of my caravan. If not, then it can be yours. There's no point to it otherwise.
You're not sure, Ash. You haven't seen it before.
Exactly.
Anyway, Lumi, sorry, you were trying to say something, Lumi?
yeah, just before bed, I was gonna say, well, I was tasked with finding and meeting a Castiel. So
Ah,
if we can find him, that would be great.
I did not see him in the slave pen.
Okay.
Correct.
Was he a scout?
No, he wasn't. He was not of my clan.
Okay, so he wasn't as good at hiding as Riv is.
I don't know. I haven't seen him hide. All I've seen him do is not shoot a bow well.
Yeah, at some point I'll just slip off and go to sleep.
Okay. So with that, then, unless there's anything else you wish to do, I will say that you all probably sleep downstairs together, where you can keep an eye in case somebody tries to come in.
I would like to have a quiet chat with Emrys at some point, just to find out how good his Elven is.
Okay.
Ash has admitted that he travels and speaks many languages. I want to know why or how Emrys speaks Elvish, so I will have a chat with
With a
Emrys.
Sylvan inflection.
Perfect. That's exactly the correct way to speak Elvish, of course. Anybody else just isn't speaking the right Elvish.
You both happily talk to each other in Sylvan for a little while. Okay. It's not long after you actually go to sleep that the barman comes around and wakes you all up.
Oh.
You hear the cockerel cry outside. He says, guys, I mean, if you don't go now and it becomes too light, you'll run the risk yet again of people asking too many questions. This is the perfect time for you to be off. Godspeed, best of luck. Here's 20 gold. Please come back with 4 large barrels of bogmug. And that,
See you
take
in
care.
about 5 days.
See you in about 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Who's going to carry the gold? I vote the scout, because if we get robbed, he can take it and run away.
I'm okay with this.
You sweet.
Who is sitting on the front of the wagon and who is hiding in the tap?
I'll sit on the front.
I'm happy to sit under the tarp and snooze.
Okay.
tarp because I think a
Tarp.
6'6" bloke in black armor might be noticeable.
It
Yeah, I
certainly
will
might
cut
be.
out
Best escape from over there.
So odd I
And it's up and
Lumi,
look like a human. I probably don't. I'll probably like.
you could cloak up if you wished.
I will do that then. I will put
Okay.
my cloak up and.
Do you look like a human? Did you say you don't look like a human?
I do look like a human.
There we go.
Her skin is very pale.
Very pale.
That's all.
And I was
It's
Either
6 foot to the
she might not be
you'll
let
get
out.
warm.
These are doors. Emrys,
Much sun.
yes, I'll sit up
sit up front.
towards the front of the car.
Riv and
And
Emrys
Riv-
front friend.
You can sit up front. Okay, 3 up front is fine. There's plenty of room for three people to sit up front when you're driving it. It's a 2-horse wagon. There's 4 very large barrels on the back. They're empty. She opens the stable doors, and you head out into Baletown itself. You head directly through the marketplace. Is the quickest route on the road. It's where anybody leaving town would travel. You pass through the market. It's at dawn. There's nobody there yet. You get 1 or 2 people that are starting to turn up to get their stalls ready, but they're not paying any interest at all to the 3 of you riding out. However, when you start to get to the edge of town, 2 humans, probably in a black, ragged-looking clothing, approach and stand in front of the wagon and just go, whoa. And where are you guys off to? Oh, sorry, guys and a gal off to.
Oh, we're
We're
just
off to Tugton.
Tugton.
Yes.
And one of them walks up to the pair, and since you were the one who spoke up, he kind of approaches closer to you, Emrys, and says that, you want us to look in the back?
Does Riv know what that means?
I understand how anyway this works. Gentlemen, the roads would not be safe without your kind and thoughtful manner. And I will go to shake his hand and cross his palm with a few silver.
How many silver?
What's a typical amount?
You know, Tony,
Riv could give me a streetwise if he wishes.
I will give 2 gold, Tone.
2 gold. Okay. You shake his hand with 2 gold.
Hold on.
You're still thinking,
Get my head around the Rolemaster monetary. Let me just have a quick
yeah,
check.
Riv will probably nudge you.
There we go.
Riv, on 106 streetwise, you kind of motion to Emrys and kind of reach over when you can see he's got a handful of money, and you kind of push, I don't know, 3 or 4 silver to one side.
Okay. Yeah. I'll take that in mind.
Yeah, I've just looked at the relevant monetary shenanigans here. It's been a while. Thank you.
You pass, you hand him 3 or 4 silver, and he looks at his mate and says, "Oh yeah, your wagon's fine to go on, lads. Have a nice trip to and lasses. Have a nice trip to Tugton."
they didn't do their job very well, did they? For us, I suppose.
I mean, Riv, you realise it's just quite common that because there's not an organised set of governance in this part of the world, and each town kind of looks after its own. Shady dealings are constant in this part of the world. Everybody's either a brigand or say a slaver or a pirate. Everybody's up to their own interest and into making money any way that they can, and shady dealings are happening all the time. In which case, most guards, long as you pay them, they fully expect. It's not as if there's an official police force. They just sort of go, "Oh yeah, it's chance me to earn a few silver. I'll just stop this merchant and let him go. And if he doesn't pay me, I'll look in his stuff and maybe take some belongings." So most merchants just like, yeah, easy money. I've just brought up the maps. Thanks again to Inkarnate, who is the online mapping software that we use for our mapping, in case anybody wishes to know. Thanks to Inkarnate.
Hey!
Oh, I can see Tugton.
And you should see Baletown on the left. I will bring it for the audience, a larger map version. So on the left, yes, you can see Baletown. And if you follow that road down, you will see Tugton next to the swamp. Correct. It's quite a long trek. It takes about 2 days, and most people stop somewhere in that middle between the two large forests.
Whilst we are trekking, I'm going to jump off and walk alongside the wagon, checking for anything herbable along the path.
I think it's probably going to be a common thing for Trace to be looking for anything that grows out of the ground.
My clan could make this trip within the day.
Or mushrooms, or anything that's growing on the back of a tree, or stuff that grows on ash.
They want to trample everything within their path.
So I'll explain to you how herbs work. Basically, depending on the amount of time you spend in a certain area, you've got two factors. You've got length of time that you're searching in an area and the size of the area as your immediate two factors as to how many potential herbs there could be in an area. So for you, the area is very large. It's basically a day's worth of walking, but sadly the time in each area is extremely short. So I'm still only going to give you 2 potential rolls in a grassland area. So I want 2 percentage dice rolls off you first to see if there's anything that could be in the area. So that's a 28 and a 77. Okay, so let me just have a look, see what herbs are actually growing in your area. So I want to know who has the highest herb lore rank, not number, rank. Make the boxes.
Yeah, blah.
I have 1.
Anybody else got any ranks in herb lore?
Nope.
Yeah, I decided not to bother taking it in the end. No, of course I did. 7 boxes.
There's a shocker.
You got 7 ranks. Okay, there's 2 potential herbs in this area. The next thing I need you to roll, and it's only those who've got a high enough herb lore to recognize a herb, is I need 2 foraging checks off you. So I want a foraging roll, open-ended, as high as you can for each of the herbs. So the 28 herb first, please.
Is that me as well?
No, just the person that actually understands what the herb would look like. And the second roll, please, the 77 roll.
Oh, man.
Okay. So,
Welcome to the absolutely no herbs around here rolls.
Exactly. So although there potentially could have been some herbs that you would have recognized in the area, you're just not spending long enough in this area to get any chance of actually hunting them down successfully. In
This travel along the road is just nothing near the road.
Yeah.
It's worth a try, Trish.
It was worth a try. You could have spotted something
well worth a try every time.
There could have been some nice... Actually, with those, I'll probably come back with some, random tubers and bits and bobs for dinner as well.
Yeah.
Berries.
You could probably find something to eat.
Goat poop.
Yeah. But nothing
What's
special.
wrong with goat poop?
It's as good as a binding agent.
Your day pass is fine. There's no issues with your day's travel on your wagon. You make good time. There's no other wagons on this road. You can see the inter-town or village trade and merchant thing is not a big regular thing. It is near the beginning of autumn, so a lot of people are doing their harvesting at this point. They're getting the autumn harvests done, so you'll probably expect maybe the next few weeks there to be quite a large amount of merchant travel with food, grains, etc. going around. But right at this moment, you are the only people on this road.
Okay.
You continue on into the evening, yet again, absolutely fine. Starts getting dark, and it's coming near the point whereby you're going to have to try and decide where are you going to pitch your wagon.
Has anybody spotted one of those campsites that the barman mentioned to us?
The burnt out area.
Because you've
Or an
been
area
making,
with built up fire or pit.
yeah, because you've been making good speed, regular speed. The ground is firm. There's no chance of you having to get through muds, etc. In the early evening, you started to pass a few of them, and of course, as the evening is going to go on, you're going to probably come across more and more of them. If you actually push it too far because you've got such firm ground and good speed, you might actually end up passing them all.
Yeah, we'll stop then.
Yeah, we'll stop.
Once
As the light
sun-
begins.
once the sun begins to set, it's time to start looking for somewhere, and then as the light drops, we should have a camp set up.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. You do that. You get yourself off to one side. Are you gonna build a fire to where the fires are usually built, or stay in the dark?
Yeah, let's build a fire. Riv, are you good enough to get out there and find us some small game?
Maybe.
Okay. If you can do that, I'll start prepping up something for cooking. Has anybody got a pan or a pot?
Head into my rattle.
I will
Yeah.
just check Riv's ability to go and find small game. Give me a moment.
Yeah, hunting. I can do
You have a book. That's good for if we need to start a fire.
Um,
that.
Riv,
Hello.
you want me to tell you how good you are at hunting down small game?
It's not going to be good, is it?
You're looking to where the market is.
You're in the black book.
Where's the shop that sells the small game? Is kind of your level of how do I come back with some kind of small game?
What is the ability to find small game?
Porridge.
Allow me.
He's a scout. He's good at this.
I'm feeling that he is scouting is a bit. What is that for trait? To scout where the nearest tobacconist is.
You can give me a foraging roll if you wish, Ash.
I shall accompany.
Oh, it's going to be. Sorry, I'll call it up. Get my foraging skill. Sorry about this, guys.
Okay.
No worries.
So, now we've gotten rid of those two, Lumi, are you all right?
yeah, I'm fine.
I saw you get hit by the guy with the sword, but you seem to sleep okay the night.
Oh, yeah, just shake that off. It's fine.
It's okay. You haven't hurt or sprained anything. I didn't want to ask you in front of the warrior in case it made you look.
Actually, just try sneaking around and looking just to see it, rather than actually getting it.
No, I'm okay, thank you.
I've answered Ash.
Ah, wild carrots. Do you remember where you found it?
No, but I had to fight a terrible beast for it.
Where's Riv? Oh my god!
The fact that Ash managed to find a carrot in the evening light of dark is actually pretty impressive. But at the end of the day, that's about all he can actually see.
Riv just steps out from behind him with like sticks and twigs and leaves just stuck in his hair and everything. He's like,
Ah, you brought kindling for the fire. Excellent.
Them out.
oh, thank you.
Did anybody think to bring food?
I do have some rations.
We're in the wilderness.
I
It will
brought
provide for
food.
us.
I bought food from the inn.
You have last night's chicken.
I brought, if you remember, if it wasn't nailed down, it went in the bag.
It's a good job you've got last night's chicken. Otherwise, you would be on trail rations, which aren't too
Or
nice.
stew in the bag.
Rations are okay.
Slosh. Yes.
Other than just one carrot and who knows what else.
That's some stick.
Indeed.
Twigs.
Okay, you sit down next to your fire. Now, none of you actually have tinder boxes, I do believe, or a fire bow, or any other method of making fire with you. So it becomes a very interesting night when you realize none of you are actually equipped to do anything outside here, outdoorsy. So yet again, can we have the person with the highest foraging skill attempt to actually make a fire out of just the twigs and stuff that you have?
I have 20. Does anybody have a foraging better?
I'm at 38.
That would be him then.
Trace
What?
actually looks at things and thinks he could probably got a higher chance of creating a fire than anybody else.
Hang on,
Trace,
why
but-
did you go hunting?
Because we have a scout.
Well, I think maybe we shouldn't send him again.
Different things, I
I
think.
don't remember him saying he was a scout.
He did, in the bar.
I said he was a scout.
I think it was Ash who said he was a scout. Just for the record.
Yeah,
But
and
he's
you are
identified, he's identified everybody in the group.
I
You a
did not.
scout?
I sneak well.
And he has a crossbow.
Do the hunting thing, though.
I think he's a dirty, stinking thief. That's what I think.
But I said to give him the money.
I said that, Mark.
I thought that was very amusing.
But
You've done it, haven't you, Trace?
Ignorantly by what would have been a campfire, but is currently not.
There's a pile of sticks.
But he's just going to sit there.
Traith, could you please start the fire for us then?
Well, if you can help me, I need somebody who's strong and fast. Can I get a bonus from being assisted?
I'll give you a +10 if Ash helps you. Yes.
I will help. I will rub Riv together.
Go for it.
His legs.
93. Okay.
103.
103. Okay. It takes you probably the good part of an hour, and you're absolutely shattered and the sweat is dripping off you, but finally you get enough embers
Eat my rations.
to get the fire going.
like
You haven't
ice.
really got any
Eat your
tinder, but you managed to find something you can stick in there enough to get this fire going. And yes, after about a good hour or so, you have a campfire. At which point, can all of you give me a general perception roll, please? Everybody.
By the way, Tony, I do have sense ambush and things like that.
I know.
Likewise.
I will warn you if your sixth sense starts to go.
Ping, 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 ping.
Nope.
Oh, there ain't gonna be that. Can I make a general perception check? No, I cannot.
You cannot not make one, I'm afraid.
I know what you mean, but
So far, Lumi is the most perceptive.
With my +1.
Yep.
Yep.
It's one of the many foibles of the system.
Wow. Okay. Lumi says.
Suits you, sir.
Lumi says.
It's
Shh,
not
shh,
open-ended.
shh. Did you hear that? And hang on a sec. Yeah, isn't that supposed to be open-ended?
It should be, yes.
should have been.
Your dice rolls, of some reason, on your sheet have not got the open-ended bit. So please roll another d100 for us.
Yeah, you didn't have the explosion greater than.
Yeah.
96.
Don't worry, I'll look at your character sheet later. But roll your dice d100 again and keep adding,
What's that?
because it's even
It's
crazier than it was
Emirates.
before.
He's-
Just Emerus with his crazy roll. Okay, so you actually got 184.
Wow.
So Lumi says, "Shh, did you hear that?" At which point Emerus says, that would be the baying of a wolf calling out the moon tonight. On that kind of roll, you're thinking he is in that forest to the north, probably at the edge of the forest looking at us.
Did you say you had some chicken left over, Ash?
I brought chicken and bread and cheese and nameless grey thing, which I think
Why
might
don't
also be
you
cheese.
have some of the chicken out of the stew in your bag?
I didn't bring the stew. I brought the chicken.
So you said you just put everything in the bag.
That would go in the bag. Stew
The stew would just go out the bottom of the bag.
Just stew.
Well, eventually.
Hey, if you ever have any of my stew, take it from me. You can put it in a bag.
There probably would be some stuff in the bottom of the bag, yeah.
You can slice my stew, I tell you. And I hand over some chicken.
Okay.
Don't feed the wolves.
Okay, Lumi. Yeah, okay.
Why not? They need
We
food just
won't
as
be
much as
long,
you
but
do.
yeah, go on, Lumi. Lumi just needs to pop off a sec. Okay, carry on.
I'm going to take it to the edge of the campfire, and if I do catch sight of the wolf in the trees, I'm going to toss him the chicken and tell him that all is good in the world and thank you out for looking after the wilderness that we live in.
The forest is a good 200 meters plus from the edge of where the roading is. It's quite a ways off. You would be off in pitch darkness if you went anywhere near that forest edge. Where
So
you
pitch
are
darkness
with a campfire light where you are, there's. I mean, it's a
Do
long way from it.
Elves do have a dark vision, don't they?
They do, yeah. Next
So
to the
it's not
campfire, not
pitch
so
dark
great,
for me.
but yes,
No,
they do.
but wandering out across into the road area to toss this to the wolf.
If that's what you want to do, you want to go and approach the wolf? Fine. In that case, give me a animal handling roll.
I'm tentatively going to start loading my crossbow.
Okay, that's fine. As the elf just disappears off into the night.
Yeah. Is he going to be all right?
I couldn't give a flying toss.
Wow,
He
okay.
needs to know what he's doing.
The elf disappears off into the darkness on his own and leaves the protection of the campfire light, and he heads north. A little while later, maybe 10 or 15 minutes later, he comes back. Trace, on that roll, you managed to get probably within about 50 meters before the wolf just bolted.
I probably wouldn't have gotten quite that far. I would have gotten enough that I could unarm sling the chicken to him.
As you threw the chicken, it would have bolted.
But at least he can come back for it. And I thank him in Druidic.
Okay. Fantastic.
And then head. You speak Druidic too?
And then you come back to the camp. Okay. So...
No, I think he had some of that squirrel shit in his throat.
It's got a hazelnut in every bite.
Squirrel shit, yeah.
Nothing else happens during this evening. You can all take a quite little rota and shift around the campfire. I'm purposely just moving you on for a moment so we can wrap up the session. You basically head east to the edges of Tugton. Do you go to the swamp area first, not the Tugton directly?
Yes.
Why would we go? Why was that?
We're dumping the corpse.
Yes, we have a bit of fishing to do.
Come on, man. It's only been a week.
Head to the swampland.
I was considering that if he hadn't bolted.
Yeah.
Tugton itself is actually right on the edge of the swamp, potentially even somewhat into the swamp. So you're going slightly north of Tugton and you come back afterwards. But as you go north of Tugton, it gets to a point whereby you can realize it's best not to take the wagon any further. At which point you can pick up the body, walk into the slowly ever-increasing amount of wetland that you're carrying it to, so you can throw it into an area that's going to be deep enough for it to actually sink and be hidden.
It might be best if you were to strip the body.
Okay, you could strip the body if you wish.
Yep. Is he wearing a shirt?
He was wearing doe armor.
Yes, he was wearing some doe armor. Nobody hit him in the chest, so his armor's actually quite good.
Measure him.
Next to it.
If people want to utilize some of his doeskin armor for themselves, it shouldn't be too difficult. Even if it's not an exact fit, probably not an exact fit on it either. And you would just probably wrap the sides with some kind of cloth just to sort of bring it in.
Just a quick question. Is it better than moss and badly cured pelts?
It certainly is better than moss and badly cured pelts.
If people don't mind, I will take this bounty of the wilderness that we found on a corpse in the swamp.
I mean, somebody wearing moss and whatever, and cured pelt.
Couldn't hear the end of that, Ash.
Yeah.
However, don't worry. You throw the corpse, the now naked corpse, into the swamp. And as you do so, you couldn't even see these two creatures due to how well they blend into the swamp. And it wasn't the fact they moved when you threw the body into the water that you noticed them. Two large, human-sized, what looks like to be frog people come splashing through the waters, brandishing spears in their hand and heading towards you. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will end episode 2.
I turn and run.
Dum dum dum.
Dun, dun, dun. Thank you all for turning up, and thank you to the audience yet again for watching a second episode of RollQuests.
Yeah.
Tune in next week to see them all get skewered by frogs. That's what you want to see.
Murdered by frogs.
Murdered by frogs.
By frogs. I'll get my next character rolled up.
Thank you, everybody, and good night.
Good night.
Night.